What makes a great community? A place you're proud to call home? Is it beautiful buildings with tasteful architecture? Is it thriving main streets with good food and a great nightlife? Is it amazing public transit or parks and recreation spaces? Is it housing that is affordable or simply just knowing your neighbor? Good communities can happen on their own, but great communities can be created with a little foresight, vision, and something called planning. The Saskatchewan Professional Planners Institute defines planning as a process that weighs public interest and works collaboratively to shape decisions about land, resources, and services to create healthy, sustainable communities. And all that really goes to say great communities don't happen by accident. They exist because people put in the time and effort to make them great, because there's planning. So how does planning work? Well, usually you start with a professional planner. Yes, people train and receive an education to do this. They graduate with a degree in planning or a related degree, and after a rigorous accreditation process, they become a registered professional planner. But degree and certification aside, what do planners actually do? Well, it depends. Like the communities they work in, the planning profession is quite diverse. Some planners work in transportation, figuring out where bus stops should be located, creating trails for cycling, and generally making sure that neighborhoods are connected and everyone has an easy way to get around. Other planners are involved in development, helping decide the most feasible and sustainable way to use land. But we're just scratching the surface here. There's planning involved in the environment, housing, tourism, infrastructure, railways, heritage. You get the point. There's no shortage of issues that affect the community, and chances are a planner is playing a significant role in addressing it. They collect data, they do site visits, identify trends, create maps, build models, go to meetings, give presentations, read reports, write reports, develop policies, send emails, and they often drink lots of coffee. But most importantly, they work with you, the community. They listen and collaborate with citizens, advocacy groups, industries, First Nations, and other stakeholders to better understand the most pressing issues affecting each community and the best ways to address them. Now, perhaps you're thinking, but this is Saskatchewan, the flat farmland rectangle of Canada. How much planning could it really need? Well, you'd be surprised. Saskatchewan has over 750 municipalities and 70 First Nations, each with their own unique interests and issues as a community. Most planning in Saskatchewan is under the authority of the province. The statements of provincial interest address a broad range of issues that the provincial government has identified as being important for all communities in Saskatchewan to consider. Here are just a few of those issues. Some of them involve the environment, such as the conservation of wild grassland. In Saskatchewan, the vast majority of these grasslands have been converted into agricultural land, resulting in the need to protect many of the species that rely on these habitats. Another provincial interest is to build stronger relationships with First Nations and Métis communities. First Nations such as Muskeg Lake Cree Nation and Whitecap Dakota First Nation have already seen the benefits from planning, but still a lot of work remains to be done to better involve Indigenous perspectives in communities and create more economic opportunities. An especially pervasive issue in Saskatchewan is the issue of sprawl. Planners help the public understand the consequences of sprawl and work to increase the efficient use of land, utilities, and community assets. Planners introduce policies to encourage infill, higher density, and the smarter siting of developments. All of these issues can be difficult to tackle. They're complex, political, and deeply rooted. They might require significant change, and not everyone might agree on what that should look like. But at the end of the day, challenges like these are addressed by planners working at different levels of government in the nonprofit and private sectors in a way that is well-informed and trustworthy. And that's what this video is all about. You see, there's no simple solution to making a great community. But planners remind us that it's worth thinking about the most complex issues facing our communities, because that leads to real changes on the ground, better neighborhoods, an improved quality of life, and yes, great communities. Whether you're interested in becoming a planner or hiring a planner, the Saskatchewan Professional Planners Institute has many resources to offer. Check out our website, sppi.ca, or our partner websites to learn more.